Early voting is underway in some communities, but not without a fight.
Republican lawmakers have tried to limit early voting to just the 2 weeks before Election Day. The I-Team's Steve Shamraz is here to explain why that could inconvenience Republican voters the most.
As You Decide 2016.
Guys, the technical name for early voting is in-person absentee, where your ballot is cast early but not counted until Election Day. It's a convenience we found is way more popular in Republican Waukesha County than in Democratic Milwaukee County. Conventional wisdom says Republicans are dead set against big windows of early voting.
And it's unfortunate that Milwaukee is using it to have weekend voting when other parts of the state could never begin to afford that.
While Democrats want all the early voting they can get.
They don't want communities where there are a lot of Democrats to be able to come and vote early.
But when the I-Team crunched the numbers, we found a surprise. Surprising even to veteran election watcher and professor Mordecai Lee.
I think you've come up with some really original data that really, in a sense, forces us to rethink all of the stereotypes that everybody talks about in terms of early voting.
Here's how it breaks down. In the 2012 presidential race, Milwaukee and Waukesha counties were polar opposites. Milwaukee 66% for Obama, Waukesha 67% for Romney. But how many of those votes came early? By vote totals, Milwaukee County is the winner, but early voting was far more popular in Waukesha County, with 28% of all ballots cast in that Republican stronghold coming before Election Day, compared with 17% in Democratic Milwaukee County. That tells Professor Lee Republicans were messing with something their base really likes.
People who are in Waukesha County who are above average in income, above average in education, that they like early voting. In other words, it's a convenience.
The one thing that does hold true is early voting does give Democrats more days to bring more people to the polls, especially in years with a big presidential election.
Why do the Democrats like early voting? It's because they have to work so hard to get those once every 4-year voters to vote.
So it is a Democratic advantage, but only if they can pull that off. Meanwhile, Professor Lee says Republican lawmakers don't see much risk in denying a convenience to their Waukesha County base.
Even if early voting were abolished, those people would still vote. They would vote in a hurricane.
The #1 community for early voting across Waukesha and Milwaukee counties is Summit. This year they have 20 early voting days. The city of Milwaukee has 33. Remember, Republicans tried to limit the number of days to 10.
Interesting stuff. Thanks, Steve.
Storm Team 4 coverage now. No hurricane.